My name is Ryan? I forget my name. Well, my dad, he sees this television interview. And my dad tells me, son, you need to join Toastmasters. And in the United States, it's different than here in China. It's actually a lot of older people join Toastmasters. So usually the average age is 45 in the United States. So my response to my dad was, well, I'm not old enough to join Toastmasters. And he said, no, anyone can join. And I was trying to get out of joining Toastmasters. I didn't want to join another club at that time. So I made an excuse. And I said, Dad, I can't afford Toastmasters. And he says, no problem, I'll pay for you. So my dad in the United States, it costs $60 US to pay. So he paid for my first year of dues. And it comes time for my icebreaker speech. And you know the icebreaker? You have to tell everybody who you are and what you're about. Well, I got up on stage and I said, my name is Ryan, and I forgot my name again. And my Toastmaster friends and family, they came together and they helped me out. And for a year, I did my CC 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 speech. And I got down and I finished my CC. It comes time to January 2012. I'm laying in bed, being a normal 20-something, and I am watching a lot of videos online, just random ones. Funny videos, educational videos, and then I come across this one where this person is going for the World Championship of Public Speaking. And I watch that video and I think to myself, I can do that. Mr. Can do that. So I ran outside of my bedroom and my wife was sitting on the couch. Now, you have to understand, Chelsea, my wife, was not a Toastmaster at the time. So she didn't know a lot about Toastmasters. So I said, babe, I am going to be the world champion of public speaking this year. And she looked at me and she said, that's a real thing? And I said, yes. Will you help me? And she said, I'll help you, but you have to commit to this, because I've been known to start a few things and not finish them. And she said, if you commit all the way through the hard times and the good, I will help you. And I said, okay, so we shook on it. And, you know, side note, I've shared this story a couple times throughout China, but because this is the city of love, can I share how Chelsea and I met?
Yes! Come on, man!
By the way, Chelsea is here today. She's right here. So Chelsea and I met when we went to college. I was 19 years old. She was 20, so she liked her younger men. And I'm at this huge college party. I am talking to this one girl who I kind of know but don't really. And the girl knows this. And mid-sentence, the girl's like, you don't know my name, do you? And I'm like, of course I know your name. And I didn't know her name. And Chelsea was behind that girl. And Chelsea goes, her name is Amy. And she mouthed the word Amy to me. So I look at the girl and I say, your name is Amy. And the girl goes, my name is Jessica. So Jessica left, and I met Chelsea. That was over almost 8 years ago, and we're still together, and she is my best friend, and I love you so much, and I'm so glad you gave me the wrong name. All right, so going back to the story. So we make that agreement that we will do this, and we'll do whatever it takes. So we go out and we get what's called whiteboards, or, you know, are they called whiteboards here, or chalkboards? Yes. Where you write? Yes, okay, whiteboards. So we get one the size of this entire centerpiece right here, and we nail it to the center of our living room wall. And in the middle of it, I write, 2012 World Champion of Public Speaking, Ryan Avery. Because if you do not believe in yourself, you can never master your stage. So I wanted to make an impact, and every morning when I got up, I looked at that, and I believed I was the world champion before I was the world champion. And what I did is I did a video, and I posted this video, and I let people know I was going for the world championship, but I would need help because I had never given a professional speech before. So I would need help. I would need people to help me learn how to be a speaker and grow. So I put this video out, and people started coming together to help me. From all over, Toastmasters, from all over the world, people wanted to help me reach my goal. And Chelsea and I decided to go to at least 5 Toastmaster meetings a week to speak. There were even sometimes we went to 10 or 11 Toastmaster meetings a week to speak. And let me tell you why that's important. It's because when you train like a champion, and you think like a champion, you become a champion. And we want to become a champion. So you have to ask yourself, are you doing what it takes to be a champion? So I decided to write my first speech, and I used this whiteboard to draw it all out and to see where I'm going to give this speech. And I designed this speech, and nobody laughs. Nobody is getting it. Nobody is excited about my message. And I think, wow, this is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. I don't know if you've ever been in a situation before where you said, this is what I'm going to do, and then you get in and you go, oh man, what did I sign up for? Maybe you did it with the conference, right? I'm going to do the conference. And then you and so I said, okay, and I went and I talked to my mentor, and one of my mentors told me this. He said, Ryan, no one rides a roller coaster to get to the end. You have to enjoy the ride that you are on. You see, he was saying that if you ride a roller coaster, the more ups and the more downs and the more twists and turns you have, the better ride it is, right? So when you are going down and when you're going up, what you're doing is you're just creating a better story. You're creating a better journey. So the next time you go after your goal, I really want you to remember that roller coaster analogy and own it. Enjoy that ride. So I get to writing another speech, and it comes time for my club contest. I give my club speech, and I barely win the club contest. Barely. Well, all of my speeches I videotaped. And one member who is outside of my club comes up to me and she says, can I please send that video to a friend of mine? Well, I said, sure, no problem. So I handed her the video. And her friend was the 2004 World Champion of Public Speaking, Randy Harvey. And I didn't know this at the time, but Randy and I lived 45 minutes away from each other. And I really like Randy Harvey's speech. Have you seen Fat Dad's speech? Raise your hand. Yeah? Okay, good. So he even came to District, when District 85 was bigger, he came here. And so one of the things that Chelsea and I did to train is we got past 25 years of winners, and we watched first, second, and third place on the videos, and we dissected first, second, and third place to see what the difference was between world champion and everybody else. And I had watched Randy's speech over and over and over again. By the way, you know why it's good to videotape your speeches? It's because you catch little things that other people won't tell you. I remember when I rewatched that video that they sent to Randy, I used to push up my glasses like this when I was on stage. And you can't be a serious speaker when you say, you know, enjoy the ride. You just can't do that, right? You can't be a serious speaker when you push up your glasses like this. And you catch little things, so it's really important to videotape yourself. Well, Randy watches this video of me doing that, and he sends me an email. And he says, I want you to come over to my house. I have a question for you. And I'm like, what? So I drive to his house, and I am very nervous to meet Randy, very nervous. And I get to his house. His house is a mansion. He has 7 gardens. It is ridiculous. And you walk into his home, and his office is to the right. And you walk into his office, and his office has 20-foot ceilings, like almost 8-meter ceilings, and bookshelves all around with a sliding ladder, 2 leather sofas, and a fireplace in his office. And he sits me down in one of the leather sofas and he says, "Why do you want to win the world championship of public speaking?" And in my head, I'm like, "Because I want to be like this guy." But out loud, I say, "Randy, I can do this. I know I can do this. I have the energy, I have the drive, I have the will. I just don't know how to do it." Have you ever been there before? You have a goal, you have a dream, you have something you want to do, you just don't know how to do it. Well, what I learned from Randy is you have to find people who have been where you want to go and get them on your team, because they can show you the way. And when you bring those people together, you can do extraordinary things. So he told me, "Okay, I will coach you, but you have to promise me one thing." And I'm like, "Can I know before I promise?" And he says yes. And he tells me this. He says, "You may never give a speech again. You can only send a message from your heart." You may never give a speech again. You may only send a message from the heart. And what Randy meant by that was, when you come up on stage, don't just talk. Don't just speak. Talk about something that really means something to you here. And when you do that, you can't lose, because you came from here. And one of the reasons why that's so important is because when you're talking in front of a large group of people, what is our most precious resource? Time. We can't make more of it. Time. Right? I can give you 20 R&B and you can give that back. But if I take 45 minutes of your time today, I can never give that 45 minutes back to you. So it's important every time you speak on stage, every time you get up and you give a message in front of them, speak from here. Speak about something you absolutely believe in. So he teaches me this, and I am pretty excited. I'm starting to write this speech, and I barely passed my area contest. I win, but I'm a little disappointed because I want to create a message that people resonate with. So one of the things that I do to clear my head is I go on a run. Where's Terry? Terry, where are you? Downstairs. Okay, Terry's a runner too. Who's a runner? Runner? Yeah? Okay, so I like to run. So I go out on this run, and I'm running, and I'm on kilometer number 10. And I'm clearing my head, thinking about all the things that I can do to get better at public speaking. And all of a sudden, I'm running, and I fall because I feel like I just broke my leg. There is just this excruciating pain in my knee. And I have to hobble home, and I'm like, babe, I broke my leg. And she looks at it, and she goes, I don't think it's broken. And I was like, I don't think you're a doctor. And she rushes me to the hospital. And what happened was, I was born with an extra bone in my knee. Weird, I know. And what happened was, while I was running, the bone snapped off and it went through a muscle. And it was some of the worst pain I've ever experienced. Well, what they did is they cut my leg open. I now have a huge scar on my knee. They took out the bone, sewed up the muscle, put me in a huge cast and crutches 10 days before my division contest. And I'm really nervous now because I'm in pain, and part of the judging is how well did you use the stage. And I look like this. So I'm really getting nervous at this point, and I start coming up with all of these excuses. I can't do this anymore.